another edition of Wings Weekly here as we discuss with Coach Anzalone, of course, the game Friday night here at the ODI Center and what's upcoming this Friday and Saturday night here at the ODI Center again. And Coach, a game against the rival Bismarck Bobcats that ultimately didn't go the way you guys would have liked for sure, but kind of a weird game. It had a little bit of different pieces, a little bit of maybe kind of sloppy play. It felt like at different times. What do you take away from it overall, I guess, and then we can kind of break it down a little bit.
Well, I like looking at the glass half full, but I also believe in calling a spade, and the bottom line is we lost just about every puck battle we could possibly lose in that game. We didn't have the puck enough. They were on offense a lot. We were on defense a lot, and that's what this week is about in practice, and the early part of this week was about in practice. Friendly reminders about needing to battle. Our battle level just simply wasn't good enough, and when your battle level's not good enough and you're not coming up with pucks, you really can't evaluate anything about your team's performance. So that's got to change, and it will.
Right. And then to give up 2 early goals in the first, it's kind of hard to come back from. But like I talked with Coach Gratton about in between at the first intermission, well, the one positive about that is that you've got 40 minutes to do it in, and you guys were able to bounce back a bit and kind of make things interesting for a while there. One of the things I thought was a very positive thing was the penalty kill. You guys, again, very successful on the penalty kill. So were there some other positives perhaps that you can take away?
Yeah, there were 3 positives in the game for me. One, I thought Tomei did a pretty good job in relief, coming off the bench cold and settling things down, and that's what the timeout and the goalie change is about, trying to swing momentum, make sure that the hole doesn't get any deeper than 2, at least at that moment in time. The penalty kill was real good. We're up over 90%, which is a positive. We're going to try like heck to stay there. And then obviously in a game where we did not win battles and did not generate anything, 5-on-5, I thought the power play came through.
Yep.
And once we out-teamed and out-supported to come up with the puck, we made 2 real nice plays on the 2 goals. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, there aren't very many more positives for me than that. I'm not going to try to spin this thing. Let's call a spade a spade. We've got to be way better. But I like those 3 things about our game: the goalie in relief, the PK, and the power play. The power play gave us a chance to be at 2-2.
Yeah, absolutely. The special teams was definitely a bright spot. And interesting, you and I talked about prior to the game that Bismarck hadn't played 13 days prior, and I honestly kind of thought that maybe they would be a little bit rusty, and that certainly wasn't the case. They came out, because it's difficult to have and practice at game speed, to kind of duplicate that other than actually being in the games and having not played for 13 days. I, again, thought that might have some impact on the Bobcats, but clearly I was wrong there. They definitely seemed ready to play. Go ahead.
They were ready to play. The big issue is we were not. Now, your next question might be why. I don't know why. If I knew why, we'd have been up 5-0, and
right.
There'd never really be a loser in the hockey game. I think that's the magic formula that all of us coaches are always trying to figure out. We certainly prepared to start better. We practiced like a team that wanted to start better. We just didn't. It's really hard when you're chasing the game. So I give them credit. They were ready to go, but we were not. And that's what we've been working on this week, our battle effort and our battle level. And that's why I say there were some friendly reminders, especially early on in the week, in meetings and then on the ice, about how you battle,
right.
What it takes to battle, what it means to battle. And then once you battle, you can begin to evaluate other parts of your game. Unfortunately, we just didn't get past that battle stage. Very good lesson learned for our group at an early stage of the season. It's not acceptable. It's unacceptable. But it's a good time to learn. It just stinks that it's at home. It stinks that it's against a rival. But what would stink more is if we don't learn a lesson from it and we don't address it, and we've started down that path this week in practice.
Well, and that's a very good point. If you're gonna have to learn that lesson, hopefully 2-3 months from now, guys can remember what that feels like and what the outcome is when you do fail to battle like that. A couple interesting points, I guess. One, I was wondering about, a lot of the teams throughout the NAHL and USHL and so on, they'll name a captain and alternates and so on after a week or maybe even right at, I think in Brookings' case, I think they named a captain right at the start of camp. Where are you at in that process as a team and as a coaching staff, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Well, we have a group of players that I feel have done a real good job leading by example. We have not named a captain yet. We're still waiting to see if someone can emerge. I think that honestly, at times, I've been really impressed that the best captain of the team at our best moments has been the team itself.
Right.
And so this is a good problem to have at times when you've got a lot of capable people who may be leaders for you. And I just think that it's one of the biggest decisions, if not the biggest decision, that a coaching staff has to make. And I want to make sure we get this one absolutely correct. So if it takes a little bit longer, I know it may be frustrating for some people because they want to see letters on sweaters. We want to make sure we get this right, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer than you had hoped.
Yeah. Well, and again, you obviously take the time to make sure that it's right. And I know that's just a question that some people have asked, and I thought it'd be interesting to bring up. Another question just in regard to the league itself, and I know we're a long ways away from playoffs or anything like that, but I've heard that with the East only having 4 teams, is it true that all 4 of them will automatically be in the playoffs?
That is correct.
Oh, wow. So I mean, by proxy, the Central having 6 teams, in the division and only 4 going, that makes things a little bit more interesting, and almost kind of feels like every game counts just a little more, I guess, as the season goes along, because it is going to be a more difficult battle, I would think, to make your way in. And really, there's no point of that. I just wanted to ask that question, and it just seems a little bit like it would kind of skew the end result, I guess.
Well, I think we've talked about this before. This is obviously the North American Hockey League, and the Central Division is one division. But in a lot of ways, you're in your own little world. You're in your own little league within your division. Outside of the 4 games in Blaine, all of our games in the remaining 56 are against teams in the Central. So we're kind of in our own little world, trying to battle to be one of the top 4 teams out of the 6, as you mentioned. And the teams in the East, they've got to battle every single night, but they're all going to be in the dance at the end of it all. So like I said, you're kind of in your own little world, trying to do your own little thing. And then obviously the top 4 teams will meet for the Robertson Cup playoffs a long way from now in May.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, Coach, this weekend coming up, we have the Austin Bruins coming to town. First time we'll see them here in the 2015-2016 campaign. A fantastic run for them late last year. They're a program that has experienced a lot of success, starting over with the new coach and so on now. What do you expect to see from the Bruins, and have you had a chance to look at them at all?
Yeah, we've started to look at them on tape. They transition the puck real well. They have good team speed. They like to shoot. They like to get to the net. There are a lot of similarities this year's Austin team to last year's Austin team. I think that the Austin Bruins over the last few years have had a lot of good staple pieces with what they do. And it looks to me like the new coaching staff, and again, I'm not them, I'm not trying to do their job or evaluate them, but I would say they've been smart not to touch some things that have made the Austin Bruins a real good team year after year. So it should be a fun battle. It should be a competitive battle. I expect our team to be ready. I expect our team to give more, to show growth, to learn, and I expect them to come in here and be real hungry. It should be another classic Central Division battle on Friday night. We're looking forward to it.
Okay. Health-wise, I know we mentioned, we talked a little bit on Friday that Jake Leitner and, of course, Pulver's still rehabbing and so on. Other than that, everybody, with those existing injuries, everybody coming out of Friday's game okay and getting healthy?
Yeah, Leitner's cleared to play. I expect him to play on Friday. That's the plan. So far, so good. I expect there to be a couple different faces in the lineup on Friday night. We've changed our personnel a little bit this week to try to get us on track and try to get some different skill sets, working with different skill sets. So we're tough to play against, we're battle ready, and we're in a position to generate a little bit more offense. So I'm looking forward to it. We're healthy, we're ready to go. Hopefully we continue to have a real good week and come out on Friday night and show that we are better, and we will play better.
Okay. Well, excellent. Well, I want to encourage everybody to come out again Friday and Saturday night here at the ODI Center, and as the Austin Bruins come to town. And we want to encourage everybody to wear pink on Friday night, too, in a way of supporting breast cancer awareness in Northeast South Dakota. So thanks for watching this week's Wings Weekly.